Imagine that even in the midst of life's turbulent chaos, you may remain a serene harbor with no turbulence. That is the power of developing wisdom, creating emotional invincibility in the face of the unexpected. This video, inspired by the basic principles of Stoicism, will teach you how to cultivate an undisturbed condition so that nothing can disrupt your inner peace. Why is there a difference between managing our thoughts and being unable to influence external events? Epictetus once said that some things are within our control, while others are not. Inner tranquility is achieved by focusing entirely on what we can manage through intelligence and willpower. Although outcomes are often beyond one's control, one's perspective and attitude can be controlled. The key principles not only teach you that virtue is the essence of a good life, rather than the pursuit of transient desires. Objective events take on significance through judgments. Weaknesses disappear when faced with adversity, revealing a person's unbound core. Living in accordance with the laws of the universe allows reality to unfold without internal interference. Join us on this voyage with the Stoic principles to remain unaffected and allow Epictetus's Stoic philosophy to pave a new route for you, where you learn to actively grasp the key to inner serenity regardless of external storms. But as always, I have a challenge for you. Watch till the end and don't miss any vital idea, because even one of the principles below could be the key to altering your life forever. The first principle is strong intent. Epictetus once claimed that hardships reveal a person's character, and that the greater the struggle, the more pride in overcoming it. Storms and tempests help skilled pilots build a reputation. This remark is not just a philosophical one. It is a call to action. When you have a clear grasp of your objectives, the world around you appears to shrink, reducing massive challenges to manageable stages. This process will reveal your inner strength, which cannot be defeated. A strong purpose is not created by happenstance. It is the result of profound thinking on what genuinely matters to you, not only job ambitions or personal achievements, but also the beliefs and values you wish to devote your life to achieving. Once that purpose is deeply embedded in your heart, the next stage is to work hard to protect and nurture it. Perseverance and unwavering dedication to your goals shape your resilience in the face of hardship. A clear purpose is like a beacon in the night, providing both a guiding light and a solid anchor for the soul. When life throws you into whirlwinds, a strong purpose serves as a lifebuoy, keeping you from sinking into the sea of emotions in terrible situations. Finally, clear goals are more than simply advice. They are the key to unleashing unrivaled mental power and the ability to face and overcome any challenge. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, not simply a collection of rules for living, but also proof of the power of will and steadfast determination. Nothing is impossible with this mindset, and nothing can disturb your unwavering attitude. Principle number 2. Would you entrust your body to a stranger? Assume you would never consider giving control of your body to someone you don't know or trust. So why do we so easily let stray thoughts and deceptive words take over our minds? When we let people's opinions to influence us, we are essentially giving strangers the key to our pleasure and peace. Mind control is more than simply a skill. It is an art. When someone offends us, it's normal to be wounded and desire to respond. But Stoicism reminds us that our emotions are a result of our thinking and personal perspectives. This means we have the ability to select how we respond to any situation. Instead than being overwhelmed by offense, look at it as an opportunity to improve our patience and self-awareness. Begin by developing regular practices that promote discipline and self-control. Set little goals and achieve them every day to boost your self-esteem. Concentrate on being in the now and better understanding your feelings. As you recognize you have the ability to choose how to respond to every event, you will progressively become more robust to obstacles and less susceptible to negative emotions. Consider a baker who works hard every day to improve their skills, unconcerned by harsh criticism or praise. This baker does not let external comments influence their job method or spirit. Finally, with patience and control, the baker not only develops their baking talents, but also finds true independence and inner peace while gracefully overcoming any criticism. Stoic philosophy is more than just a classical intellectual discipline. It is also an effective instrument for confronting and overcoming daily obstacles. In an unstable and uncertain environment, we can obtain genuine peace and freedom by learning to control our minds and manage our emotions maturely. We can't avoid being the target of gossip and judgment from others, but have you ever considered whether the weight of nasty comments truly defines you, or if your resilience and inner serenity eventually determine who you are? Take a time to unwind and join us as we explore the next principle. This story is about more than simply how we deal with bad remarks. It is also a lesson in spiritual freedom when we are no longer constrained by others' perceptions. Principle 3. If someone speaks ill of you, Epictetus once stated that we cannot control others' thoughts or behaviors, but we can control how we respond to them. In today's society, this means acknowledging that everyone has different opinions and ideals, and they may not always agree with or act in the way we expect. Similar to Christ's instruction to love your enemies, we are instructed to be patient and open-minded to opposing opinions, even if they contradict our own. To live a life unaffected by the comments of others, we must have a deep and accurate understanding of ourselves. This comprises a thorough grasp of our motivations and the reasons for our behaviors, as well as a strong belief in our values and ideals. When you are secure in your path and why you selected it, unfavorable statements from others lose their meaning. Finally, in order to deal with insults and conflicts without being affected, we must cultivate tolerance and gentleness. Patience allows us to remain cool and not react impulsively or harshly, whereas kindness allows us to preserve positive relationships with people, even if they disagree with us. Saints' and ascetics' lives provide illustrative instances of how to confront damage and insults with patience and kindness while remaining true to their chosen path. When we prioritize personal development and fortitude in the face of adversity, we not only better our own lives, but also inspire those around us. Remember that true power comes not from controlling what others believe or say about us, but from being able to manage how those things affect us. We'd love to hear about your ideas and experiences with nasty words from others, as well as how you handled them using Stoic principles. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your experience could inspire and strengthen others. Principle 4. Insult and offense. Epictetus, in a stern and sensible tone, highlighted that what truly frightens and dismays us is not external events themselves, but how we think about them. This means that when someone offends you, it is not their words that cause you harm, but rather how you perceive and react to those comments that determines their influence on your soul. Consider this scenario. You voice a viewpoint in a meeting, and a coworker strongly disagrees. Instead of reacting emotionally, you take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this an opportunity for me to consider the issue from a different perspective? By doing so, you not only keep your cool but also extend your perspective. In another scenario, when you and a close friend are talking and you are abruptly reprimanded for a personal decision, instead of becoming hurt, you take the time to ponder the critique. When perhaps you'll realize that, while their delivery wasn't great, their purpose was genuine. To inspire you to evaluate your choices from a different perspective. This is discovering light in the darkness, a wonderful skill that Stoicism urges us to develop. This lesson teaches us not only how to suffer insult or hurt, but also how to use these experiences as stepping stones to personal progress. The trick is to decide how you will confront them. Stoicism holds that strength stems from learning how to embrace and overcome obstacles rather than avoiding them. Remember that each struggle provides an opportunity for you to grow stronger and more resilient. We frequently encounter challenges that instill dread and humiliation. The question is, how will we overcome them? How do we avoid allowing these experiences to influence our self-worth? Epictetus delves deeply into this subject in his philosophy. He emphasized that the source of all fear and humiliation is not the external conditions, but how we respond to them. The fifth principle is dread and disgrace. Have you ever been stuck within the glass cage of dread and shame? These are the instances when we do things we don't want to do in order to gain acceptance or a modest boost on social media. But Epictetus, with his timeless wisdom, brought out a simple yet deep truth. We are the ones who attach significance to every experience, instilling fear and guilt in our hearts. Stoicism, rather than dismissing emotions, encourages us to embrace them with courage and self-control. Overcoming fear and shame implies that we are no longer constrained by the gaze and words of others. It's a journey back to ourselves, finding the significance and purpose of life with each breath and every everyday decision. Epictetus argues that the key to happiness is found within each individual's soul, rather than outside. When we base our self-worth on external factors, we invite anxiety and shame. In contrast, when we focus on self-improvement, wisdom and spiritual liberation, we experience unsurpassed calm and power. Finally, dread and disgrace in Epictetus's Stoic philosophy is not. It's not only a lesson in tackling challenges, but also a reminder to live a meaningful life in which fear and shame are no longer impediments to happiness and freedom. When we face and overcome obstacles, we not only liberate ourselves but also inspire people around us. As we go on to principle number 6, let's look at how Stoicism teaches us to not just face but also embrace adversities on the way to self-development. We will learn to foresee challenges and not only face them, but also to use them as a springboard to become the best versions of ourselves. Before we continue, I'd like to convey my heartfelt appreciation to everyone who has spent time with us in this video. Your presence serves as a vital source of support for myself and the production crew. If you find these principles helpful, please like and share this video with others. Your support not only allows us to continue producing high-quality content, but it also helps us communicate the Stoic philosophy to a larger audience. Principle number 6. Anticipating obstacles. At its foundation, the Stoic notion of anticipating hurdles promotes a proactive approach rather than a reaction to life's challenges. Epictetus says that by mentally preparing for probable problems along our path, we can tackle them calmly and deliberately. This mental training program is not an invitation to pessimism, but rather a technique for strengthening resolve and equipping the mind with the tools it needs to handle any scenario. Consider the narrative of a marathon runner training for a big race. She is aware of the notion of anticipating barriers and anticipates probable hurdles, such as inclement weather, injuries, or unanticipated personal commitments that may disrupt her training program. Instead of being concerned about these possibilities, she planned ahead of time by changing her training schedule, planning for various weather situations, and scheduling time for rest and recovery. On race day, when confronted with an unexpected deluge, she maintains her composure, having psychologically and physically prepared for such an event. Anticipating and preparing for what may have been a challenge transforms the race into a demonstration of her fortitude and determination. Anticipating challenges fosters harmony between emotions and rationality, teaching us to confront life's uncertainties with a level head. It instills a sense of readiness and confidence. Logically, it improves our problem-solving abilities by encouraging us to think forward and plan for the future. This balance is a defining feature that enables us to confront life's ups and downs with a calm heart and clear head. Epictetus once stated, "Don't consent to being hurt, and you won't be hurt. This is a choice over which you have control." He taught that genuine power is found in how we choose to respond to each situation. This viewpoint paves the way for emancipation, offering a new perspective on how we accept and handle life's problems and pain. Principle number 7. No one can hurt you. Assume you are receiving harsh feedback from a trustworthy friend. The initial reaction could be one of hurt and betrayal. Stoicism, on the other hand, teaches us that, while this initial reaction is natural, you have complete control over whether or not to let it define your emotions and subsequent actions. So the question is, how do we use this principle in our daily lives? The first benefit is the ability to respond freely. When confronted with criticism or hurt, remember that you have the freedom to choose how to respond. This does not imply rejecting emotions, but rather accepting and carefully controlling them. The second goal is to develop inner strength. Confidence and peace stem not from avoiding all pain, but from knowing you can conquer it. In Christianity, this strength is frequently found through faith and prayer. The third step is to forgive. We are called to exercise forgiveness, just as Jesus did for those who injured him. This not only helps us relieve our own worries, but it also opens the door to reconciliation and love. Remember, this is not a call to inaction or avoidance. Instead, it serves as a reminder of our power and freedom to choose how we respond to problems, as well as an invitation to seek serenity and strength through religion. We can achieve true independence and inner peace by applying this approach to all parts of life, not only difficult situations. Principle No. 8. Repressing your actions. In Epictetus' philosophy, exerting self-restraint in action is not only a form of autonomy, but also a necessary step toward inner serenity and spiritual might. This does not imply criticizing all actions or reactions, but rather selecting behaviors based on rationality rather than spontaneous emotion. Imagine you're in a key meeting and a colleague abruptly opposes your ideas, even criticizing you personally. Anger, disappointment, or even a desire to respond forcibly are possible initial emotions. Epictetus, on the other hand, believes that now is the time to put self-control into practice. Instead of allowing your emotions to take over, take a deep breath and remind yourself that anger or aggressive revenge will not solve the problem. You choose to accept that opinion sensibly, objectively analyze it, and even respond constructively, exhibiting respect and facilitating conversation rather than conflict. Exercising moderation in action and speech not only allows us to avoid negative results, but it also exhibits maturity and wisdom. In a world where swift and violent reactions are often regarded as a sign of strength, Epictetus reminds us that true strength resides in the capacity to regulate oneself in any situation. So, how can this lesson be applied in real life? The first step is to recognize emotions. Recognize and accept emotions as they arise, without reacting immediately. The second step is to take a break before acting. Give yourself a time to ponder before doing or speaking. The third step is to question oneself. Is your activity or statement rational, and will it result in favorable outcomes? The fourth step is to behave with mindfulness. Instead of reacting immediately, choose an action that demonstrates a thorough comprehension of the circumstance. By restraint, we not only manage our emotions but also approach and overcome problems in a calm and effective manner. This not only improves our lives, but it also helps us become the finest versions of ourselves, resilient and resolute in the face of adversity. Are you willing to control your activities in order to become a better version of yourself? Please leave a remark "I'm ready" underneath the video. Principle number 9. The power of acceptance. Assume you are on a lengthy journey and suddenly realize you are lost. You might be furious, disappointed, or anxious. However, by utilizing principle number 9, the power of acceptance, you begin to examine the situation calmly and accept that you are lost. You recognize that worry or fury will not affect the existing situation. Following this acceptance, you can begin to look for solutions using a map, asking for directions, or using GPS. The crucial thing to remember is that you have the capacity and flexibility to choose how to approach the circumstance rather than being swept away by negative feelings. Here are 5 strategies to practice hanging on to the power of acceptance. 1. Recognize and accept feelings. When dealing with a challenging situation, take a minute to acknowledge your own emotions. The first step toward acceptance is to acknowledge your anger, grief, or fear. 2. Understanding and analysis. Try to identify the source of the problem and carefully evaluate the variables that cannot be changed as well as those over which you have influence. 3. Redirect energy. Instead of focusing on what you can't alter, direct your attention toward positive acts you can take. Acceptance is not resignation, but rather the start of purposeful action. 4. Seek meaning and learn. Each obstacle presents an opportunity to learn. Seek lessons from each experience and use them to your personal development. 5. Practice gratitude. Remember that there is always something to be grateful about. Gratitude allows us to keep our souls and perceive light in the dark. By using the power of acceptance, you can not only learn to confront problems, but also discover serenity and happiness in your daily life. This is one of the most fundamental things that Epictetus' Stoic philosophy teaches us. Epictetus believes that every one of us is born with the ability and responsibility to live in harmony with nature, not only the exterior nature, but also the nature within, which is our actual identity. This needs us to comprehend and accept our place in the universe, to recognize that everything happens for a reason, and to learn how to pursue happiness and tranquility within the constraints imposed by nature. Principle number 10. Living according to nature. Epictetus believed that the key to living a happy and meaningful life is to live in accordance with nature, not just the exterior nature, but also the inner nature within ourselves, the genuine essence of each human. Epictetus argues that living in harmony with nature not only brings us tranquility, but also allows us to develop and maximize our potential. Living according to natural principles demands us to comprehend that every occurrence and situation in life has a reason for being, and we must accept them peacefully. To grow immune to life's changes, we must educate our minds to see clearly and accept all that occurs. This does not imply giving up or becoming indifferent, but rather learning to accept and find happiness within the boundaries imposed by nature. According to Stoicism, happiness is not about pursuing external pleasures or worldly possessions, but about finding peace and joy in simple things by living a conscientious and self-aware life in tune with our inner essence. According to Stoic philosophy, living by the laws of nature is not just a way to deal with life's obstacles, but also a path to ultimate freedom and happiness. By adopting these ideas to our daily lives, we not only discover inner peace, but also become immune to life's ups and downs. Let us begin our road to a life of fulfillment, harmony, and meaning today. We've been on an interesting and challenging journey together as we explore Epictetus philosophy and apply Stoic ideas to everyday life. These teachings are not only guiding lights to help us manage life's storms, but also a source of strength to help us build a resilient soul that is unshakable by any circumstance. However, the quest of self-improvement is never solitary. That is why we would like to welcome you to participate in this exchange of knowledge. Do you have any questions or concerns about using these concepts in your life? Please add your views and experiences in the comments area. Every question, challenge, and success story serves as a great source of motivation for our community to grow and thrive together. Don't forget to like and share this video with those who you believe will be inspired by the Stoic ideals, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any videos that will help you become more steady and resilient in life.